Lu Yu arrived at a strange beast world where evil gods peeped and ancient taboos revived from the depths of time. In this world, birds, beasts, mountains, rivers, and even elements can all be spiritually transformed into pet beasts. Among them, the powerful are themselves ecological niches, radiating out ecological secrets such as the underworld's secret realm, skeleton kingdom, enchanting nest, and heavenly tree kingdom, nurturing countless relatives. The beast tamer contracts and cultivates with pet beasts to control spirituality. After witnessing the Forbidden Sun incident, Lu Yu gained the ability to extract materials from all things in the world and edit secret food. Evolutionary secret food, with the combination of Broken Twilight World and Ancient Dragon Dead Egg as the feast of the end. After being consumed by the imperial beasts, the evolution of the end dragon god erodes the world in the Twilight realm and transforms into the end god. The skill of secret food is to resist beasts and plunder all things, moving towards omniscience and omnipotence, sacrificing the forbidden time of secret food, sacrificing ancient existence, and blaspheming the gods. And his style of animal art also became eerie. There are spider shadows weaving dreams of sentient beings, entwined with ancient dragons for food, as well as deep red masters polluting the multiverse, and devourers of various realms who feed on the world. He explained, "My beasts are just a bit eerie, they're really not evil gods." Keywords of the novel. My royal beast is not a evil god. No pop-ups, my royal beast is not a evil god. Download the full text of My Royal Beast is Not a Evil God. Read the latest chapter on My Royal Beast is Not a Evil God. Chapter 1. This world of beasts is a bit eerie. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. This world of beasts is a bit eerie. The oldest and strongest emotion in humans is fear, and the oldest and strongest fear is the unknown. Deep sea in the dead deep sea, slowly sinking. Without strength, the only thing I can do is feel the almost suffocating pain and look up at the shimmering water surface, where the light refracts and splits into 9 suns stacked together. A pale radiance fell, casting the wriggling shadows of the abyss, as if the Dark Mother had opened her embrace. Don't. The painful low roar startled the bird on the peach blossom tree, who was just about to make negative contact, and flew away cursing. Wearing sunglasses and taking a nap against a tree, Lu Yu suddenly woke up, as if he had just escaped from drowning, panting heavily to alleviate the suffocating palpitations. Looking around, tall peach trees grow and their branches stretch out. The peach blossoms blooming on them resemble rouge clouds, and the pink mist floats like a painter depicting a mountain and river of spring. Fortunately, it's still at the pet breeding base in Dayuan City. He regained his composure and found a young girl in a white dress standing in front of him, holding a heart-patterned envelope in both hands. She had a pure and charming appearance, a curvaceous figure, and a charming demeanor. Her eyes were as timid as those of a frightened rabbit. Lu Yu knew he had scared the other party, so he quickly adjusted his emotions and squeezed out a smile, saying, "Classmate, what can I do for you?" The frightened girl stuttered and said, "That. I want to send you a letter." Thinking of the "no" just now, the girl was in a panic and didn't know whether to hand out the confession letter in her hand. And as she was in a commanding position, she inadvertently caught a glimpse of Lu Yu's bloodshot eyes, which were covered by sunglasses. Like a wounded beast crazy. Thinking of the various rumors before, the girl's fear surged in her heart like a tide. She instinctively took a few steps back and suddenly realized that her actions were not right. In the end, she was in a dilemma and chose to leave discouraged. She arrived at a big rock in the distance, where there was another round-faced sportswear girl riding on the back of a white wolf. She reached out her hand and pulled the white dress girl up, saying angrily, "I've told you not to get close to this monster. Previously, during the awakening ceremony of the beast, I suddenly shouted and said that there were 9 suns distorted in the sky. Isn't that crazy? Later, I even volunteered to raise pigs, wasting my bright future." "That's the extraordinary creature Peach Pig of Silver Spirit," said the girl in a white dress weakly. "You see, you still help him talk." No matter what extraordinary creatures you are, raising pigs is like raising pigs. My dad once said, only cultivating pet beasts is the right way. Don't get too close to people who are willing to fall for it. You look so cute, and there will be people chasing you in the future. If not, I will be with you. Speaking of this, the girl in the white dress didn't know what to say and blushed as she lowered her head. Sanshue Wolf, let's go. The round-faced girl glanced at Lu Yu, who was in a daze under the tree, with an inexplicable emotion flashing on her face. She remained angry and someone who had once been out of reach was tainted with the joy of falling into the mortal world. It's just that Lu Yu is just a wild grass on the roadside now. Birds and fish have different paths. The two of them drove the snow wolf away from the peach blossom forest. Lu Yu didn't pay much attention to their conversation. He leaned his head against the tree trunk, looked at the beautiful peach blossoms blooming like clouds and mist, pinched the center of his eyebrows, relieved the swelling pain in his eyes, and murmured. I've only been in this world for 3 months, and I can't even remember how many nightmares I've had. Lu Yu is a traveler who came from an orphanage in his past life. However, through his own efforts and the thick black education honed by society, he successfully made a lot of money by flipping through children's clothing before the age of 30. As a result, because of overwork, I crossed in the blink of an eye, entered a different world with the same appearance and name, and integrated the other's memory. Although the journey was a bit hasty, Lu Yu was also very calm. Come like wind and rain, go like dust. It's his attitude towards life. Through memory, it is known that this is a world of beasts that is countless times wider than Earth. In this world, all things have spirituality. Whether it is beasts and birds, lakes, storms, lightning, or even the radiance of the sun and moon, machinery will give birth to spirituality and become extraordinary life. Life that contains spiritual power can continuously evolve towards transcendence, acquiring abilities such as flames, thunder, light and darkness, leaping to the level of life, and even giving birth to the power of moving mountains, filling the sea, and summoning wind and rain like gods and demons. And humans, according to legend, were also free to manipulate spirituality in ancient times, but history is too ancient, and the only evidence is some incomplete archaeological data, which most people only consider as the imagination of the ancients. The reason for this idea is that humans directly consume too much spiritual power, which can cause strange distortions and become monsters that are neither human nor ghost. In ancient times, weak and spiritually charged humans naturally became the favorite blood eaters of many monsters, so tribes were often attacked by monsters, with bones scattered everywhere. For a long period of time, humans could only exchange protection and survive by sacrificing their powerful existence. Until an ancient sage discovered the special talent of humans, which could create a space for beasts through the contract of extraordinary life, accelerate their growth, and use the space and pets as filters to perfectly absorb spiritual power. From then on, the attack and defense became easier. Countless human geniuses have risen, driven out monsters, established human cities, and now even more brilliant civilizations have emerged. The beast master profession, as a key factor in the rise of humanity, has been perfected and developed over a long period of time. It has also been divided into professions such as combat, cultivation, medical treatment, making magic potions, divination, etc. It subdivides the power of pet beasts and integrates them into a part of human civilization. A powerful beast tamer protects a city, protecting ordinary people from the invasion of extraordinary creatures, and even further exploring the wilderness to obtain a large amount of resources and wealth. All things are inferior, only beasts are superior. The first step of the beast master is to awaken spirituality. Although it is only the starting point, it has already surpassed most ordinary people. An awakening is divided into 9 levels. The first 3 levels are red copper spirituality, corresponding to servant-level pet beasts. The third level is silver spirit, corresponding to elite-level pet beasts. The third level is golden spirituality, corresponding to the commanding level pet beast. Then there is the morning star stage, corresponding to the overlord-level pet beast. As for the higher one, it is too far away from Lu Yu. Golden spirituality is the backbone of talent, and there are numerous policies and benefits for settling down in any city. And what surprised him in this life was not an orphan, having parents. His father was a golden spiritual peak, and his mother was a silver spiritual peak, performing alliance missions outside. The beginning of the second generation of the imperial palace, where the roots and seedlings are red. And on the day he traveled, he happened to have just turned 18 and was queuing up to awaken his talent for animal defense. Beast masters will awaken their own talents and plan their future path of beast control. For Lu Yu, whether it's elemental enhancement, possession, refining potions, collecting materials, or even the ability to listen to history, it's a subclass talent. No need to worry, his parents will help him find suitable and excellent pet cubs. However, just as it was his turn, bad news came that his parents were attacked by the cult while on mission, and both were killed in action. After awakening his talent, Lu Yu became the madman that girls used to call out for having 9 sons. Later on, he took the initiative to apply for the peach pig breeding project at school, which was seen by many as a negative lesson after being hit hard. However, only Lu Yu knew that he was not crazy. Because of his awakened talent, called the Eye of Truth, he can consume his spiritual power at the cost of seeing the talent and information of pet beasts. At the moment of awakening, he was unable to perfectly control the Eye of Truth, resulting in a massive influx of information that caused him a headache. Subconsciously, he wanted to look up and avoid the crowd, only to see a scene that he would never forget. The eternal sun changed from 1 to 9, and their shadows kept breaking and stacking like bloated flesh balls, constantly deforming and occupying the sky. Words cannot describe its essence, and no language can convey its eerie and mysterious posture, as if it were a product that violated all rules and order, great yet chaotic. In that great radiance, it seems that many figures are still wriggling. Each one is incredibly huge, with eerie and chaotic shadows spreading outward like tree roots and whiskers, and the vastness of the breath is enough to shatter the stars. They surrounded themselves in a circle, wrapped in countless deep red chains, vaguely seeming to be gnawing on something, making strange noises that stained the entire sky with blood. And then he thought it was a world change and shouted out a reminder to everyone, but within a few steps, he fainted due to the exhaustion of spiritual power and was urgently sent to the hospital. The final diagnostic result was minor corneal damage and burns in the macular area of the retina caused by direct sunlight. Although in this world of beasts, this kind of damage can be mostly restored with a healing light from medical pets, it is also necessary to wear sunglasses for a period of time to cultivate and prevent being exposed to strong light again. After waking up, no matter what Lu Yu said, no one believed it, it was just a hallucination that appeared after being mentally challenged. Even Lu Yu began to doubt himself. Because when he took another adventure and peeked with the corner of his eye. Above the sky, the clear sky was brilliant, and the sun emitted a dazzling radiance, sacred and shining. The piercing Lu Yu couldn't help but squint his eyes, tears rolling down the corners of his eyes. It seems like everything is just one's own illusion. But later on, the Eye of Truth could only view information about pet animals. Even if he imitated animals while hiding in the ward, it would not take effect. On the contrary, when the nurse saw him, it further proved that his mental state was not right. Lu Yu also wanted to forget all of this, but the nightmare about the sun's eerie transformation had been lingering around him, and as time passed, it had become increasingly frequent, eroding his rationality. "It's not me who's sick, it's this world," Lu Yu murmured softly, his gaze fixed. Seeing the terror contained in the world, even the spring sky and summer flowers were poison in his eyes. Because of this strong sense of insecurity, Lu Yu became even more eager for power. The quickest way is to become a true beast tamer. Just as the thought came to his mind, he suddenly heard obscure murmurs in his ear, overlapping like ancient and mysterious movements. Although he had never heard this language before, Lu Yu understood its meaning. The door of truth, successfully bound. As the words fell, the world before me was suddenly engulfed by endless chaotic currents, and in the blink of an eye, it entered a dark void. In the chaos, Lu Yu seemed to transform into an indescribable great existence, residing on the endless mud of chaos, indescribable, immeasurable black, immeasurable darkness. Billions of arms gently dance, shaking the chaotic world. Chaos shattered, evolving into endless earth fire and feng shui, giving birth to the world and life, but then being engulfed by the chaotic silt, returning to nothingness. It's not a beast control space, this is. Lu Yu was shocked and instinctively wanted to see his current appearance clearly, but an inexplicable sense of crisis stopped him. Once seen clearly, it is likely to trigger unknown terror. Thinking of this, Lu Yu instinctively lowered his head and saw countless bubbles entwined on one of his arms, gathering billions of radiance. Each one emitted a rainbow halo, accompanied by mysterious whispers, as if elucidating the supreme truth. They gathered together, transforming into the appearance of a broken portal, as if they had gathered all the truths of the world, the past, present, and future being the only thing in history. As Lu Yu's gaze fell, a large number of bubbles began to dissipate, and what appeared inside made Lu Yu's pupils shrink and he exclaimed in surprise. This is. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. The Gate of Truth, Ascending the God's Long Step. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. The Gate of Truth, Ascending the God's Long Step. What appeared in front of Lu Yu was a strange silver key. The key teeth were covered in mysterious silver vines, as if growing out of nowhere, sinking into the void and creating a circle of purple ripples. However, the handle of the key presents a curved appearance, like the inverted hook handle of an umbrella. Countless runes converge in the middle, outlining an open-eye nebula-like eye, like a living creature, constantly wriggling and looking around. However, no matter how it looked, it dared not peek at the thousand-handed figure hidden by endless chaos, as if even a glance was taboo. Although a strange eye grew on the key, Lu Yu still recognized this as the silver key he bought in his previous life, also known as the step to ascend the gods, the key to truth, and so on. The orphanage he is in can only be described as rudimentary in terms of infrastructure because more money is spent on taking care of children. The biggest entertainment project is some fairy tale and mythological books collected by the Dean, and Lu Yu's favorite ones are those vast and sacred mythological stories, but what he likes is not the lofty gods, but the mysterious and powerful monsters and artifacts. After reaching adulthood, Lu Yu, who was able to earn money on his own, enjoyed collecting these peculiar things and figurines. The silver key was bought by him at a roadside stall, and the owner claimed that it was a legendary key that could open the door to truth and obtain the mystery of becoming a god. He could bring it home with only 9,999 yuan. However, Lu Yu did not listen to his deception, he just felt that the appearance of this key was quite cool, and directly negotiated to buy it at 99. Along the way, I also ordered a related mythological story online, preparing to learn about this obscure legend. However, he hasn't received the goods yet, I just crossed over directly. I used to hold this key in gesture in the air before, can I open the door to truth now? Lu Yu pondered, and since the silver key appeared, it proved that it was the culprit causing the passage, but he also did not see the so-called mystery of becoming a god. Is it possible to pull tens of thousands of people to chop it off, just like Pinxi Shi? Just as he was pondering, the silver key trembled slightly, and a wave of information flooded into Lu Yu's mind. After sorting it out, he finally understood the background. The silver key he bought in his previous life was indeed genuine, and it opened the door to the truth that is said to possess the mystery of becoming a god and allowed him to enter it. However, as a mortal, he was unable to accommodate the vast and mysterious high-dimensional knowledge, leading to a split action in the end. With a bang, I got my head popped. However, his soul was not destroyed and instead came to this world of beasts, carrying the silver key and the things he had obtained from behind the door. Thinking of this, Lu Yu realized that his original talent for the Eye of Truth had been replaced by a new talent. Master of the Door, incomplete. As the holder of the key to truth, you will obtain the eye of truth, incomplete, which can see information and weaknesses of all things, at the cost of consuming your own spiritual power. All your actions are in accordance with the truth. With the blessing of the gate of truth, you can enhance your talents by crafting extraordinary equipment, potions, secret foods, divination, and more, and receive an additional 50% success rate bonus. Making high quality magic potions, delicacies, and secret foods will produce additional effects, and the better the quality, the stronger the effect. And any extraordinary side effects only need to bear 1% of the original. Quality is divided into average, good, excellent, perfect, and highest. After binding the silver key, Lu Yu used the eye of truth to consume only 1/10 of his spiritual energy, and his target changed from a pet beast to all things. And this is just the effect of the incomplete state. If he can make up for it, he can transform into a part of omniscient authority, and everything in the world will be no longer secret in his eyes. And the ultimate goal of omniscience is to move towards omnipotence. Ascend the long steps of the gods. As for why it was incomplete, Lu Yu vaguely felt that it was related to his own journey, but the memory after entering the gate of truth was temporarily sealed due to the involvement of too much high-dimensional information. Only when he is strong will he unlock them one by one. In addition to the eye of truth, the accompanying effects are also extremely terrifying. Auxiliary professions have increased talent and qualifications, and enjoy a 50% success rate bonus. You should know that this is an additional attribute added to the success rate of the individual, which is effective for all extraordinary auxiliary professions. With such a buff blessing, it can be said that the talent of Lu Yu's auxiliary profession has been fully tapped. For example, when he makes delicious food to feed pet beasts, as long as the quality is judged by the eye of truth to be above good, various special effects will be born. For example, attribute enhancement, skill proficiency enhancement, learning acceleration buff, and so on. Just keep feeding and you can give your beast unlimited buffs and even attributes, soaring like a rocket. The final reduction in side effects is even more of a bug, such as divination of the future being easily backfired, others having to pay the cost of 100 years of lifespan, Lu Yu only needing 1 year, and similar curses, prohibitions, and so on. Exchange the minimum cost for the maximum benefit. In other words, Lu Yu, who now holds the key to truth, is a part of the truth. But when Lu Yu wanted to check what he had brought out behind the door before, he couldn't find it. As his thoughts flowed, the chaotic airflow condensed into a text in front of him. Tip. The first beast of the contract, unlock. Secret food inheritance, description. Using mystery as fire, forbidden to swallow. It's not a so-called system, but more like the key to truth using a task form that is easy to understand, telling oneself how to acquire more abilities. In addition to inheritance, there seem to be some remnants of oneself from the past. It's also time to contract the first beast. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Nightmare Seal. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Nightmare Seal. Lu Yu withdrew from the chaotic space, and the dense peach forest, like pink clouds and mist, once again came into view. The gentle breeze blows, and the peach blossoms rustle and dance, resonating with this spring movement. The eye of truth. Lu Yu silently recited in his heart, with the center of his pupils like a star. The silver vines on the silver spoon spread and intertwined, forming a nebulous eye pattern that overlapped like the double pupils in mythology. Junmei Haramoto's face added a hint of mystery and strangeness. After opening the eye of truth, his vision greatly improved, and the world in his eyes also changed accordingly. 15-year-old peach trees, transplanted, growing well. 25-year-old peach tree, transplanted, with insect-infested trunk. It is recommended to use insect repellent solution. Peach ladybird, feeding on nectar and decaying plants. Strange peach blossom drum frog, evolution of peach blossom spotted frog, has been fading since pregnancy. Peach pig, 2 years old, pregnant, with a spine height of 1.5 meters, a body length of 2.7 meters, weight. Feeding during pregnancy can increase favorability, and feeding a drink made with peach blossom nectar to young offspring can prevent childhood illness. In his eyes, all objects had data descriptions, years, growth status, and even more methods for cultivating peaches and pigs. He took the initiative to apply for pig farming, not to escape reality or to contract a mobile ingredient that could be taken and eaten at any time. The true purpose is to accumulate primitive capital for oneself. After experiencing the distorted sun incident, Lu Yu was unsure if the city he was in was real, so he remained a bit wary of anyone. So after the injury is healed, the talent reported to the school is not the eye of truth, but rather the beast affinity. It can be considered as keeping a trump card for himself, and he is also afraid of his eyes being stared at. However, being clumsy does not mean being willing to fall for oneself. Especially when his parents were carrying out tasks, they purchased a large number of props, resulting in not much money left at home, only 130,000 alliance coins. It's not a small amount, but it's not enough to support him to go too far on the path of being a beast tamer. To become stronger, one needs to find ways to make money. Therefore, after screening many projects, Lu Yu set his sights on peach pig. A lower ecological species with blue skin and pink mane on the back, spiritually stable and not easily distorted. Peach pigs are not very strong and their feed is not expensive, but due to their excellent taste, they can replenish a lot of qi and blood and strengthen muscles and bones after eating. They have always been the favorite food for powerful carnivorous pets. And some special conditions for animal evolution require consuming a large amount of peach pigs. And the peach pig is located near Dayuan City, a characteristic species in the ecological secret realm of Taohua Township, at the bottom of the ecological niche. It is not difficult for a general beast tamer to capture a few, but if it is plundered in large quantities, it can easily lead to some extraordinary life hunting that protects food. Therefore, the price on the market is quite high, no less than 2-star materials. There is a market, and naturally there are also smart people who choose to engage in captive breeding, starting to transplant peach tree seedlings from Peach Blossom Township, and spending a lot of time, capturing dozens of pairs of peach pigs in batches for large-scale breeding. However, many people did not expect that although peach pigs are pigs, the difficulty of raising them is 2.5 stars. Peach pigs feed on peach tree roots and peach blossom nectar, with high intelligence and resistance to artificial confinement. Once found imprisoned, they can become depressed, affecting both fertility and meat growth. They may even choose to commit suicide, leading to financial ruin. But hiring high-level cultivation masters for this is not worth it, there is no profit, and there is even a possibility of losing money. But at this point, a large amount of money has already been invested in building peach blossom forests and purchasing breeding pigs and piglets. Giving up halfway is not enough, and it has become a hot potato, which is very troublesome. And Lu Yu took the opportunity to impersonate the talent of beast affinity and actively applied, naturally winning the project easily. However, due to the lack of a contract for the first beast, his eye of truth requires spiritual power to be activated, so it can only be activated intermittently. However, he also gained a lot of intelligence by watching pig slices. Although peach pigs have high intelligence, they will receive feeding during the first month of pregnancy. If taken care of properly during this period, they are more likely to develop a sense of closeness, and newborn peach pigs will also be more family-friendly, thus gaining meat and breeding. Based on this direction, Lu Yu collected data on the cultivation of peach pigs and, in conjunction with the abilities of the Eye of Truth, compiled the postpartum care manual for peach pigs. We have built an ecological system that uses clear water duckweed to clean up excrement and peach blossom spotted frog to clean up pests. Especially when a large number of peach blossom spotted frogs gather, it is easy to give birth to the peach blossom drum frog, a beloved animal of the music system, and even a rare undead system pet named Ghostface Curse Frog. The probability of the latter appearing is too small, but the former can be sold as a subsidiary product, which is equivalent to opening an additional channel for making money. Under the new ecosystem, the number of peach pig piglets has significantly increased. On Earth, one must hold a banner of pig farmer, high and low. After waiting for another 2 months to double the number of peach pig cubs, Lu Yu can use the results to verify the data and determine that a group of people can be cultivated for large-scale peach pig breeding through the manual. Peach pigs with price but no market can be transformed into large-scale, assembly line products. The profit among them cannot be held by himself, and he has the eye of truth, and there is no need to rush. It is easy to make money. His goal is to negotiate with the school based on this achievement, in exchange for a pet beast cub with commanding potential, gold, and even if it doesn't work out, it will also be the top elite as his first imperial beast. But it's too late. Lu Yu sighed. Recently, the frequency of nightmares from the sun has been increasing, even starting to affect his mental state, which is clearly abnormal. Since the eye of truth is effective for all things, perhaps it can see my current problem. Thinking of this, he used his phone's camera selfie mode and used the front-facing camera as a mirror to take a look at himself. The upgraded eye of truth did indeed see a new negative buff entry. Nightmare Seal. As a mortal, you unexpectedly glimpse the essence of the sun and many ancient beasts, and unexpectedly have no soul to collapse because you are as weak as ants and have not been discovered by them. But the image you see itself is taboo knowledge that is untouchable and unknown to mortals. These memories turn into seeds and take root deep in your soul, emitting the sweet scent of ancient knowledge. You are powerless to protect yourself, and have become a special flower of curses. Ordinary people should not peep into taboos. The fragrance of flowers caught the attention of a nightmare beast, and at a huge cost, they planted the nightmare seed as a marker for you from a distance. From then on, nightmares will become more frequent until your soul collapses, which is when it enjoys a feast. Your dream is already deep sea, slowly drowning you. After reading it, Lu Yu's face was extremely shocked. The shadows that appear in the distorted radiance of the sun are actually ancient beasts. Are these ancient beings also animal masters? What level of life is beast? Just a glance can contaminate one's memory and turn it into a curse. Why are these guys wrapped in deep red chains and sharing food? Is the scene I see at this time point? Various doubts swirled in Lu Yu's mind, causing him a splitting headache, but no one could answer them for him. Moreover, compared to these unknown and mysterious beings, they are mysterious and aloof, yet they do not pay attention to their own little ant. But the trace of spiritual pollution they spread has become a curse for plundering their own mortal life. An invisible and intangible nightmare beast has set its sights on itself. As the nightmare deepens, it will eventually appear and devour its own soul. His life is already counting down. After multiple inspections, no traces of nightmares were found, indicating that it is very likely that the curse of snooping taboos is affecting us, and others cannot help us. We will only feel that we are crazy. As for the powerful beast tamer, who doesn't even have the qualifications to know him, how can we ask him to take action? Especially as ants, I have attracted the nightmare beast. If a powerful beast tamer takes action, would it trigger a more terrifying curse and attract the attention of the beast if they see this memory? Even if not, after a thorough examination, the key to truth is likely to be exposed. How many people can remain calm in the face of a divine ascent? He dare not gamble on the kindness of others, he only wants to control his fate in his own hands. So Lu Yu must first become a beast tamer, unlock the key to truth with more abilities, and see if he can find a way to break the situation. Lu Yu unlocked the phone lock screen and opened the Nail app. Ignoring a bunch of junk messages from Edie asking to send, received, and checked in, as if instructing a servant, I found a top contact person. The note is, Student President. Twilight Crow. President, I would like to ask for your help. The Twilight Crow is his ID, like the Twilight Crow, quietly waiting for the darkness to fall. I thought I had to wait for a while, but the information will be sent back in seconds. Student President. Good, Twilight Crow. I hope to use the gold medal in the name of the school to exchange pet beasts with the official account. Newcomers seeking support for new books, seeking data and follow. Up reading. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Abyss Magic Eye, Skills Secret Food. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 4 Abyss Magic Eye, Skills Secret Food. The Gold Medal, the full name is the Gold Pioneer Medal. It is a meritorious badge issued by the Human Alliance, a subordinate of the Supreme Council where Lu Yu resides, and is divided into the Gold Medal, the Morning Star Medal, and so on. There are two ways to obtain the Golden Emblem. One is to complete 10 gold missions released by the Alliance, or to sacrifice heroes while executing official exploration missions. And Lu Yu belongs to the latter type. His parents, who belonged to half of the system, sacrificed themselves after participating in the official exploration mission, and he received a gold medal, which he could choose to exchange for huge wealth of equal value. In a sense, he is also the legitimate lineage of the Human Alliance's Genshin Akira. The function of the merit emblem is also very simple, that is, it can be exchanged for a golden spiritual beast, which is the potential to command. Corresponding to human red copper, silver, and gold, serving as servants, elites, and commanders of beasts, it's like in Pokémon, the children of the Alliance can lead potential elves named the Yuzan family at the age of 10. Of course, not everyone has it, otherwise there wouldn't be so many insect catchers and miscellaneous fish opponents. Of course, these are all things that the beautiful and childlike world will not reveal. The reason why Lu Yu did not choose to use the merit emblem was not because he had any psychological reasons, such as not wanting to use the relics left by his father, and so on. Part of the reason is that he has been recovering from his injuries since awakening, let alone the cost of using the gold medal. The first one is reaching adulthood at the age of 18. The second is the innocence of one's family. The third is to complete the 5 red copper missions released by the Alliance within 1 year of being promoted to the red copper rank after receiving it, complete 2 silver missions within 3 years of being promoted to the silver rank, and complete 1 gold mission after being promoted to the gold spirituality. Each task will receive corresponding rewards and earn internal points from the Alliance, which can be used to exchange for rare resources. The conditions are not harsh. If you don't want to, you can exchange it for a large sum of money and buy your own pet beast. Only in this way, Lu Yu can also accept it. After all, the first beast is the foundation of the Beast Master and is particularly important. But this is Dayuan City. In terms of single-round infrastructure, number of troops stationed, economy, and level of development, it is also considered a quasi-first-level city in the entire Alliance, second only to 14 first-level cities, and then down to hundreds of second-level cities. The reason why this name is called is not because of the bizarre reasons why strong people are called Jing Dayuan and Su Dayuan, but because it is at the critical point of the human ecosystem and the magical ecosystem. Great Abyss. A huge rift of unknown length almost divided the world. On the other side is the magical ecological realm, where a large number of extraordinary lives are scattered and live in the form of ethnic groups, giving birth to countless magical ecological secrets. Legend has it that the bottom of the abyss is connected to the dimension of the abyss. Due to the instability of space, there may occasionally be creatures from the void entering, and even the spiritual realm occasionally links to reality here. In such a chaotic place, there are naturally a large number of evil god cults that have been expelled by human society. Occupying it can almost be called a chaotic dance of demons. Although Dayuan City and many surrounding cities are tens of thousands of miles away from the true front line, and there are many satellite towns guarding it, coupled with decades of no major battles, it seems safe. But if carrying out official missions, there is a high probability of approaching the abyss or eliminating cult followers. Although danger may accompany opportunity too unstable. And another issue is that the gold badge is usually exchanged for war spoils from special subjects who conquer the wilderness or destroy the cult of evil gods. Most of the pet beasts are biased towards evil factions, and some are even relatives born under the influence of evil god power pollution. After testing, if there are no major issues, they will be left behind, and minor issues will be ignored. Powerful, but spiritually unstable, prone to distortion or backlash. Not safe. However, most people don't care about these things. Being able to obtain the potential to lead a beast is already a great thing. How can one be insatiable? Lu Yu is not a sentimental person either, but due to the taboo against the sun, he himself needs several months to recuperate and cannot complete the official mission. So let's start with our surroundings and see if we can use the eye of truth for primitive accumulation of capital. Then, we can first obtain a potential beast as the first beast. Wait until your strength is strong enough, then use the gold medal to exchange for the second or third imperial beast. If the original accumulation fails, decisively exchange it. However, it has been proven that he only completed the peach pig breeding manual in 3 months and already has bargaining chips to negotiate with the school. However, it will take several months until the number of peach pigs doubles, and it may not necessarily be possible to exchange for the commander-level pet beast in the end. Especially, the resources of schools are mainly focused on secret realm pets such as Taohua Township, with a focus on plants, animals, and so on. If he wants to solve the nightmare, he must look for cursed, spiritual, and dreamlike pets. As for spiritual instability, for him, who has witnessed taboo secrets without collapsing, it is not a flaw at all. Don't let your pet be contaminated by yourself in the opposite direction. The reason for finding a student president is because there are people in the system who are easy to handle, and they can go through the school's green channel without making appointments in advance, wasting 1 or 2 weeks of time. Silence lasts for a long time, and the message comes. Student president. Are we not raising pigs anymore? Lu Yu's face stiffened. If he hadn't known the other person's personality, he would have felt that he was mocking himself. That's a peach pig, not an ordinary pig. Bai Ma Wen is not just an ordinary horse keeper, he can also appoint a fairy. Twilight Crow. This time, Lu Yu waited for 5 minutes but did not reply. Is it difficult because you don't want to help? Lu Yu was also relieved about this. After all, he and the student president were only ordinary colleagues, and it was normal for the other party not to want to help. It seems that I still have to go find the principal myself. Lu Yu stood up pondering, when suddenly a strong wind swept through, rolling up sand and dust. He instinctively looked up and saw a white-haired and red-eyed girl descending from the sky, with vampire demon wings waving behind him, slowly descending until his black leather shoes lightly stepped on the ground. The tall and graceful body lines revealed during the process are perfect, with a white shirt wrapped around an impressive curve, and grooves faintly visible. The buttocks wrapped in a gray checkered pleated skirt are like delicious peaches. Slender legs wrapped in white calf socks, straight and slender, almost glowing white, shining brightly in the sunlight. However, beneath such a sexy appearance, the girl's finely crafted and perfect facial features exude an icy indifference. After landing, the pink bat wings behind her also shrank, eventually turning into a purple eyeball with little devil wings, and a black inverted triangle tail floating on the side of the girl. But it doesn't look scary, on the contrary, it looks like a flying big-eyed doll. However, the abyss demon eye looked unhappy and instead looked at Lu Yu with caution, as if a vegetable farmer guarding a white vegetable field was watching a vegetable thief. Lu Yu's eye of truth quietly opens. Abyssal magic eye, attribute. Spirit/abyss, strength. Elite peak, racial potential. Advanced leadership, skills. Perception, mental shock, high temperature ray, petrochemical ray, fear ray, eye of threat, introduction. Enchanted spirit-type pet beasts can gain flying ability after being possessed. Abyssal species, a characteristic product of the eye demon ecosystem, breed offspring through eye demon dreams or other magical dreams. They do not like socializing and have a cruel and powerful personality. Good cultivation requires consuming a large amount of abyssal demon worms and spiritual flesh, and cannot resist sour foods. Evolution path. I demon waiter, requires materials. Evil eye demon, requires materials. Rare evolution. I demon tyrant, requires materials, ... Not only did it display relevant attributes, but it also listed over a dozen evolutionary paths, including even the emergence of the top-tier I demon tyrant. But now he can only get a rough idea. To fully see it, it requires a lot of spiritual power, enough to empty him out. So we still need to improve our strength. However, in addition, the Eye of Truth has also revealed an interesting piece of knowledge. Abyssal eye demon materials that can be used to make skill secret food. After taking it, you can obtain a special skill called Global View, which allows your pet to have a 360 degrees view without blind spots. Battle skills. Mom no longer needs to worry about me being ambushed. However, the specific method still requires the use of the secret food inheritance that can only be unlocked after the first Imperial Beast in the contract. This has increased Lu Yu's expectations for the follow-up function of the key to truth. Lu Yu looked at the Abyss Eye Demon again, feeling that it was not an Abyss Demon. It was clearly a moving treasure box monster. Their own strength is also extremely strong, with 4 built-in racial talent race skills, and the remaining skills are also spiritual skills. They have a wide range of strikes, and combined with the potential of higher leaders, they have a great chance of becoming the dominant creature of the Morning Star stage in the future. If you haven't found a suitable pet this time, you can also seek its help to resist the invasion of nightmares. I'm so greedy, hiss. The Abyss Eye Demon floating beside the girl suddenly felt a chill behind her and was being targeted by something dangerous. But under the surrounding view, there are no enemies approaching. Is it difficult to become invisible? Thinking of this, Big Eyes couldn't help but move closer to their master. This is not cowardice, it's just caution. Lu Yu also felt that his gaze was too intense, and reluctantly moved his gaze away from the Abyss Magic Eye. He kindly reminded him. President, don't wear a skirt while flying, it's easy to get naked. The words fell and the scene fell into silence. The white-haired girl looked down at the ground without tiptoes, thought for a moment, twisted her hands around the skirt corners on both sides, pulled up, and asked expressionless. Does it look good? End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Selecting the initial pet beast, seeking recommendation and collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Selecting the initial pet beast, seeking recommendation and collection. A beautiful girl suddenly lifted her skirt and asked with an ethereal voice and an indifferent expression whether you looked good or not. Those who are close can smell the serene and elegant fragrance, like mandalas, beautiful yet highly poisonous. And it still has white hair and red pupils. Use this to test cadres. Lu Yu also experienced a surge of chi and blood. Hard. My fist has hardened. Actually, it would be better to say this with a disdainful expression. Lu Yu reluctantly averted his gaze and sighed. President, for boys, you can't pull up your skirt casually. Okay, I'll go wear safety pants later. The cold voice of the young girl sounded, with a positive connotation. Waiting is also a matter of waiting. But your lace pattern is really pretty, cough cough cough. If it weren't for knowing the personality of the girl in front of him, Lu Yu would have thought it would be a beautiful confession. However, he knew it was impossible because he knew the identity of the girl in front of him. Red Moon Dream. When it comes to the first high school in Dayuan City, most people may not know who the principal is, but when it comes to beautiful women, it is absolutely impossible to avoid 3 people. 3 sisters of Chiwa family. Big sister Red Moon Red Lotus, second sister Red Moon Shi, and youngest sister Red Moon Dream. All 3 of them have white hair and red pupils, a stunning appearance, a hot figure, and carry a special charm that makes people unconsciously addicted. The wealthy second-generation villain who used to be brained by sperm once wanted to use their power to intimidate, but ended up transferring schools the next day. Rumors have it that a prominent figure spoke up, and then a group of wolves, tigers, and leopards who wanted to please each other rushed forward, easily crushing the wealthy second generation's family business into pieces. If you don't escape, there will only be a dead end. Later, some people saw that the headmaster of the UN City Yusho High School and the overlord Yusho teacher were all kind to the three sisters, which gave them a layer of mystery. Her stunning appearance combined with a mysterious background naturally made her a prominent figure in everyone's eyes. However, contrary to their sexy appearance, they have extremely aloof personalities and refuse to be approached by anyone, even girls. Like the flower of the high mountains, located in the clouds beyond the reach of mortals. As a result, there are rumors that the strange appearance of the three sisters may not be human, but the appearance of the space of the beast has shattered all rumors. After all, only humans have the space to resist beasts. The understanding between Lu Yu and Qi Yuemeng was also unexpected. He often went to the library to search for information and see if he could find any abnormal records about the sun because he doubted the authenticity of the world. One time, she happened to encounter the infatuated Red Moon Dream. Watching her step down the stairs and fall straight forward, Lu Yu instinctively grabbed the other person's hand, only to realize that the abyss magic eye had been biting her clothes. Even if you don't need his help, you won't fall. Lu Yusong apologized, but the eyes of Red Moon Dream were more complicated than him, with an indescribable excitement, asking him how he felt when he touched him. Lu Yu is not a pervert. Although he is very smooth, he can't say it. He shook his head to deny that he didn't feel anything. Without further inquiry, Qi Yumeng simply added a contact information. I thought I would never see you again, but suddenly, Qi Yumeng became the student president and was responsible for coordinating his Peach Pig project. Therefore, the two of them also had topics, often handing over work and chatting, and became friends. Through chatting, Lu Yu learned that Red Moon Dream was not as aloof as the legend suggests, but rather had a straightforward personality and a relatively calm expression. If you want to describe it, it should be the three no-girls in anime. So in Lu Yu's view, this should be a manifestation of how well the Red Moon Dream is protected and not understanding social ethics. Lu Yu didn't even think about whether the other party liked him. After all, his appearance was indeed among the top group. If it weren't for the sun incident and actively raising pigs, it would probably fill the drawer with love letters every day. However, later on, he asked a few indirect questions, but Qi Yuemengdu only looked at him calmly, with a simple gaze, more like treating him as a friend, making him also self-deprecating in the three major illusions of life. But that's also good, compared to his daily love life, he yearns more for the power to protect himself. The girl looked at Lu Yu, who had no response, and tilted her head, with a hint of doubt in her red eyes. In my sister's comic, it's not that apologizing or confessing, is it, to show weight? The other party will be very happy. But why? It still hasn't conveyed emotions no matter how urgent. I can't express my feelings. Just as she was about to continue pulling upwards, a plump and delicious peach also revealed a corner. Lu Yu was afraid that he couldn't help but want to eat peaches, so he changed the topic and said, President, what can I do for you? Aren't you going to use the gold medal? Red Moon Dream released her hand, her skirt swaying, covering up the purple shadow. Lu Yu frowned and said, Are you here to persuade me? The nightmare beast will come at any time, and he only has this one path to take. If it really hinders oneself, it's best to give up the path of school and go through the process of application. No, I believe you. Qi Yuemeng's expression was calm, as if speaking a well-known common sense, and she continued, as the student president, I will accompany you. Accompany me. Lu Yu was momentarily taken aback, and then he was overjoyed. If there is the help of the mysterious Red Moon Dream, the relationship will be stable, with the eye of truth, not afraid of not being able to find good pets. As Qi Yuemeng looked at the excited young man, she silently extended her pink fist and raised it in the air. In the other person's puzzled eyes, she whispered. Come on. Oh. Good. Lu Yu remembered when he chatted online before, saying that he would bump his fist to celebrate when cheering on, but she didn't expect to remember it in her heart. So he clenched his fist and lightly touched it, which was as delicate as sheep fat and white jade, and felt the malicious gaze of the abyss magic eye. Seems to be angry that this foolish human dares to touch his master. Regarding this, Lu Yu simply smiled and withdrew his hand, while taking out a sour plum candy from his pocket to refresh himself. After unpacking the package, he threw it to the abyss demon eye on the side. The latter flicked its tail and wrapped it around the sour plum candy, sniffing it up like a puppy. Sour and sweet, even human beings dare to bribe me. Although he thought about it with restraint, the abyss eye couldn't resist the temptation of sourness and opened its mouth to swallow it. The big eyeballs narrowed into a slit. Like a kitten with its chin touched, its body trembles slightly. Eat well. A mere human, still quite sensible, let's just ignore it today. Indeed, as the Eye of Truth said, it cannot resist sour food. Lu Yu chuckled inwardly and turned around to take a leave from the school. And Qi Weimeng stayed in place, feeling the warmth just passed from her hand, her eyes moist enough to drip water, murmuring. Can touch, won't be devoured by me, man, the first man I can touch. Her red pupils had turned into love at some point. Looking at Lu Yu's back, her legs leaned slightly closer, and a tail with love at the end protruded from behind her pleated skirt, swaying with pleasure from her master. When Lu Yu turned back, Qi Weimeng had already followed suit, with a calm and elegant expression as usual. Next, with the help of Qi Yimeng and the fact that Lu Yu himself was also a legitimate student, the school naturally gave them a green light all the way and proactively provided a school bus to take them to the special science base in Dayuan City. Passing through the bustling city, there are fewer vehicles in the center, and there are many intersections with a large number of troops stationed to check the identity of passing vehicles. After submitting the information, Lu Yu and his team also passed smoothly and soon arrived at the bottom of a huge white tower, which is the tallest building in the city. The top of the white tower is connected to a huge spherical crystal, reflecting a pale silver glow under the sunlight and scattering it towards the city. The tower is carved with various animal reliefs, which are peculiar in face in all directions. Each one is tightly closed, and has a large number of blue patterns that spread out from below the crystal, connecting all the reliefs. I don't know why, but Mr. Lu Yu felt that these reliefs seemed to be alive. However, with the lesson of staring directly at the sun before, he did not rashly use the Eye of Truth. Just as Lu Yu was stunned, the voice of Red Moon Dream rang in his ear. Here is the wonder of Dayuan City. The Starry Beast Pagoda, which can detect whether there are peeled, parasitic, and spiritually controlled monsters infiltrating the city. Once they do, a warning will be issued and they will be directly eliminated. Lu Yu nodded, not unfamiliar with it. After all, the reason why the city of Dayuan can stand safely near Dayuan without being damaged is because this tall tower operates day and night non-stop. To put it bluntly, it is the protector in the eyes of the citizens of the abyss. Lu Yu followed Red Moon Dream through the marble staircase, walked through the white stone square, and entered the tower. The first floor is the office area, not as mysterious as imagined, but rather spacious and bright, with a large number of green potted plants placed in the corners, giving a modern feeling. In the glass counter, the staff are quite busy, dealing with a large number of municipal projects. Lu Yu was originally planning to queue up for the number, but Red Moon Dream directly added money to buy a scalper account, making him feel what money ability is. The business process went smoothly, with school documents available. I skipped the queue stage and the salesperson looked surprised. The owner of the gold medal, even if there are many dangers in carrying out missions in the future, it is still a matter of the future. In the present, it is a safe potential stock. I originally wanted to get to know her, but I caught a glimpse of Red Moon Dream staring at her from the side. Stare at, on the face that is beautiful enough to make any woman feel ashamed, her gaze is calm, but she is like a tiger guarding her prey, daring to pounce on any beast that covets her prey. Let the temperature drop by a few points. In the end, it was only after Lu Yu pulled her away that the salesperson breathed a sigh of relief and couldn't help but sigh. Is jealousy so scary for little girls nowadays? Two people entered the elevator, scanned their identity information and disposable pass, and the elevator automatically descended until it stopped on the negative third floor. At the moment the elevator opened, countless roots spread. Before they could react, they were entangled and dragged out, arriving at a magical place. A large number of strange and peculiar environments blend together, including rivers, grasslands, forests, and grotesque caves. Among them, there live a large number of extraordinary life forms with unique appearances, and their power has given birth to various ecosystems and harmonious coexistence. At the top of the sky are rocks with countless crystal flowers, emitting light. Below, there is a crow with 3 eyes emitting a soul-shaking cry. Black and red wolf dogs rush towards the earth, leaving scorched marks wherever they pass, chasing after the big-headed mole that steals in the ground, covered in moss and vines, building a strange ecological system. After arriving at the destination, the roots that had originally wrapped around his body also dissipated. Before Lu Yu could explore the surroundings, a hoarse voice sounded behind him. Welcome to the inner prison of the mysterious prison demon flower. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Dragon Feast Ceremony, Huangquan Dragon and Wolf. Seeking collection, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Dragon Feast Ceremony, Huangquan Dragon and Wolf. Seeking collection, abdominal imprisonment. With a cold expression, Lu Yu opened his eyes of truth and looked at the earth beneath his feet. Gui Jianyao Hua, Attribute. Botanical/Spatial Series, Strength. First Level Overlord, Race Potential. Overlord High Level, Skills. Abdominal Prison, Super Level, Prison Law, Acid Bomb, Vine Whip, Parasitic Seeds, Hypnosis Powder, Rampage Powder, Photosynthesis, Deterrence, Plantation Site, Void Blast. Introduction. Evolved from the greedy belly flower, it has an insatiable appetite in childhood and likes to constantly eat. After digestion, it will turn into corrosive acid. Even if it fills the abdomen, it will continue to produce, continuously squeezing the elastic abdomen, expanding space, and having an appetite that can eat a mountain. Wait until you have accumulated to a certain extent, and then use appropriate rituals and materials to promote yourself to the rank of Gui Jianyao Hua. The larger the belly filled before evolution, the larger the space opened up after evolution, and they like to build ecology in the belly space, imprison life, and strengthen their own prison laws. Most of the time, photosynthesis is the main focus, and they will also devour the bones and decay of dead organisms for food. Most of the time, it has a gentle personality, but when provoked, it can also be swallowed by it, corroded by endless acid, or die of old age. Evolution path. King Flower of the Void Realm. Heavenly Ghost Tree. Undoubtedly, it is a dominant monster equivalent to a Morning Star rating. Not to mention the series of luxurious skills, just the abdominal space has a diameter of several kilometers. So how huge would its true size be? It seemed to have guessed Lu Yu's confusion, and the voice rang out once again. Its abdominal space has been folded, and although its actual size may not be as large, it is also 100 meters long. If we really want to talk about its size, it would have to be the mechanical pet beasts and mechs on the side of the mechanical king domain. Recently, I also heard that it has found almost infinite energy of Showa oil, and has started to create the Sky City. I'm getting further away from it. The eerie prison demon flower usually sleeps underground in the beast tower, and most of the time is used to imprison these imperial beasts. Even if it loses control, it will not cause adverse effects. Lu Yu turned around and saw a middle-aged man wearing a black trench coat and special combat boots, with a sword with an L-shaped hilt pinned to his waist. He was holding a Peach Blossom Township brand cigarette at the corner of his mouth, his gray-white hair combed into a big back, and his sideburns were neatly trimmed. Coupled with that melancholic look, he had a feeling of a middle-aged abstinent uncle. He picked up the steel portable wine jug from his waist and took a sip, saying calmly. By the way, my name is Zhou Cheng. You can call me the gatekeeper or you can call me the acting warden. Are you the selectors for this issue? This girl's abyssal magic eye is quite good, but the abyssal spiritual puzzle is difficult to do. TSK, how could there be a pet beast without a contract? It's really getting worse every time. For this homeroom teacher-like remark, Lu Yu simply said coldly. I remember, drinking alcohol during work would result in salary deductions, right? This is not something he made up, but when he saw the rules and regulations posted on the wall on the first floor and glanced at them, he jotted them down. Zhou Cheng's face stiffened and he coughed lightly, saying. Cough cough, I'm a bit confused after drinking too much, and my eyes have changed. Take a closer look, you're really handsome and talented. You're truly a descendant of a hero who won the gold medal. Since you're all so outstanding, give me face. This matter is over, and I'm still hoping to settle the accounts of the small tavern with this month's salary, otherwise the boss won't let me in. He originally only wanted to pretend to be aloof and handsome, but he didn't expect the little ghost to be so difficult to deal with now. It's not impossible not to see it, unless. Unless for what? Lu Yu pondered and said, I also enjoy drinking. Let me taste the taste of this wine too. This. Zhou Cheng was also stunned. This was the first time he had encountered someone who dared to extort him. However, this has indeed caught his weakness. He has been warned several times about drinking at work, and if he is complained about again, he will really work for nothing this month. You don't want your boss to find out about stealing alcohol at work. What kind of plot is this? Thinking of this, Zhou Cheng's furrowed brow suddenly relaxed, his face turned cold, and he said lightly, extort me. Aren't you afraid you can't choose a pet beast? As he spoke, a suffocating pressure spread out, clearly aimed at overwhelming others with force. Red Moon Dream's face remained unchanged, and the abyss demon eye behind her quietly floated up, entering a state of readiness for battle. Not afraid. Lu Yu didn't feel any pressure and smiled, saying, after all, you don't have much malice towards me. Zhou Cheng raised his eyebrows and curiously asked, why do you say that? Lu Yu smiled and said, because the first time you saw me, your expression was somewhat relieved. Behind you, there was a beautiful woman who didn't look at me, kept looking at my face, and then showed a look of nostalgia. If it's not a problem with my sexual orientation, it should be someone I know who looks similar to me. I don't have any other relatives in Dayuan City, so only my parents are left. After a moment of silence, Zhou Cheng looked at Lu Yu, who was calm and composed, and couldn't help but sigh. I truly deserve to be the son of that guy Lu Sheng. He's just as smart as him, and you guessed it right. I'm his captain, the head of the 17th Special Department team. If I hadn't been late, maybe I could have saved your parents. Speaking of which, Zhou Cheng's face was a little sad. Lu Sheng is his father, Lu Yu. Lu Yu remained silent and did not answer. There are so many things from the past. Zhou Cheng also awkwardly scratched his head, thinking that this kid was too mischievous to act as a villain in dozens of episodes like in TV dramas, and then make a comeback. As expected, someone as handsome as him cannot play the villain. Shit, you're such a boring kid. Since he was recognized, Zhou Cheng stopped pretending and handed over the bottle with a painful expression on his face. Before he could wait for his advice to drink less, he was snatched over by Lu Yu. Red Moon Dream, who was listening attentively on the side, said, observing, very powerful. Lu Yu shrugged and said, actually, I just saw a photo of him and my father together. I just made up those words. The sound was not loud, but it couldn't escape Zhou Cheng's hearing. He was so angry that he almost bit his back teeth. This bastard looks exactly the same. Sure enough, it's my own son. Lu Yu raised the wine bottle and poured it out, but he was not interested in indirectly kissing a middle-aged man. The reason for wanting wine is not to cause trouble, but because the eye of truth displays the information of this wine. Baihua Forging God Wine. A fine wine made mainly from the roots and stems of the mysterious prison demon flowers, mixed with hundreds of different flowers and petals, fermented. Drinking it can enhance mental strength. When facing the nightmare beast, 1 point of increased mental strength increases the winning rate. Becoming stronger is his goal. Lu Yu took a sip and the rich, fresh and sweet liquor fell into his mouth, instantly blooming on his tongue with a fragrance of flowers. Immediately, a cool breath rushed into the brain, causing the soul to grow a bit stronger and further refining its spiritual power, becoming more solid. The strength increased, instantly sweeping away the gloomy emotions brought by Lu Yu's nightmares. Lu Yu handed the wine back, but Zhou Qing didn't rush to pick it up. Instead, he asked, "Don't you want some more?" "Enough, the effect is still ongoing, drinking it again would be too much." Lu Yu did not pretend to be reserved. Because the wine brewed by the body of the overlord-level pet beast is too strong for this beast master who has not even reached the red copper level. An interpersonal communication requires moderation. Others may not mind, but one cannot take advantage of oneself. After all, who would be so lucky to have a wine with a strong spiritual power? Zhou Qing pinned the wine jug to his waist and waved his hand. Accompanied by the water vapor, a cloud-like, cotton candy-like white mirror appeared in front of him. A yawning expression appeared on the mirror, as if he had just woken up. A line of text appeared on the mirror. "Old Zhou, that tavern owner's wife is so smooth. No wonder you always talk about wanting to eat peaches when you're drunk. If you ask me, some monsters are also good, such as mermaids, mountain monsters, female giants, and amputees. You can write a book about the customs of an alien race." Before he could finish speaking, he was punched into the soil by Zhou Qing and said with a smile on his face, "It's really strange, this broken mirror has been left for a long time and it's starting to talk nonsense, hee." As he spoke, he also made a patch and buried the painful cries in the soil. Lu Yu's mouth twitched slightly, even without the use of the eye of truth, he recognized its identity. A rare water-type pet beast, the round light mirror demon, with moderate racial potential and weak combat power, but possessing a highly functional racial skill. The round light technique. It can peek into every place within a radius of 1 kilometer and present images, which can be called a reconnaissance skill. It can be said that with it, it is equivalent to installing a Skynet system within a kilometer range, and everything that happens cannot be hidden from oneself. If you want to make money with this ability, as long as you let the wind out, a bunch of big companies and adventure groups will come knocking for cooperation at high prices. Undoubtedly, he is the captain of his father's team. He can become the warden of the Overlord Beast, with a strong position and background. Moreover, if the round light mirror demon can evolve into the legendary 1,000-mile mirror demon, it can explore thousands of miles and insight into all spirits. Even in a travelogue, he saw a rumor that someone once wanted to create a mirror to observe the world, but he didn't know if it had been successful. Alright, let's start selecting the Imperial Beast. Zhou Qing pulled out his sword with a black face and forcefully broke it, causing the hilt to fall off and turn into a black pistol. After a friendly negotiation with the head of the round light mirror demon, he finally succeeded. Zhou Qing picked up the mirror again and infused it with dark golden spiritual power. Several scenes appeared in the originally gray mirror, pieced together in split-screen mode. He pointed to the black wolf pack that looked similar to a wolf dog and had black and red fur, with sparks erupting from its body, and introduced it. "This is the Dark Fire Wolf Dog, which was captured by a daring death squad of our sect after suppressing the Dark Earth sect. The larger ones are completely insane, so they were dealt with on the spot. The smaller ones were brought back and raised, and there are now more than 10 of them. A beast with undead and fire attributes, with moderate racial potential as the leader. It comes with its own racial skills and is used for hunting by the underworld fire. When excited, it will ignite the underworld fire on its body when running, leaving a scorched path where it passes. Creatures will also be burned by the underworld fire when stepping on it, and even if bitten, it will be infused with the underworld fire. Although the temperature of the underworld fire is not high, it is like a maggot attached to bones, constantly eroding opponents and eroding their vitality. The most important thing is that dogs and beasts are loyal, and the probability of backlash is not high. Moreover, they only need to eat bones to feed, but as they grow up, they will have higher requirements for bone quality. Although the potential is only moderate, the official holds two evolutionary paths for it. The first is the top leader's Hades Flame Wolf, which still has undead and fire attributes, enhancing the power of Hades Fire and the racial skill Fire Prison. The other one is also the top leader's Skeleton-Eating Dog King, with pure undead attributes and race skills to control the skeleton. It can hatch the relatives of the skeleton dog through the corpse, and the number depends on the strength. Usually around 10. Two paths correspond to the paths of dogs and wolves, representing different directions. Zhou Qing watched as Lu Yu was still pondering, thinking that he was dissatisfied with the canine-style beast, and bewitched him, saying, "If you can enter the Yellow Spring ecological secret realm and find the nest of the dragon blood insect, you can eat a large amount of dragon blood insect through the dragon feast ceremony, give birth to the dragon's bloodline, and evolve into a powerful beast with high hegemonic potential." The Yellow Spring Dragon Wolf. Newcomers seeking support, seeking monthly tickets, recommended tickets, and follow-up reading. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. The Legacy of the Dream-Eating Sect, for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Legacy of the Dream-Eating Sect, for collection. Huangquan Secret Realm. Dragon Feast Ceremony. Lu Yu was tempted for a moment, but quickly extinguished it. Why not? Because the conditions are too harsh. He has read materials in the library and found that the Huangquan ecological secret realm does not refer to the mythical Joyo Huangquan, but rather a special ecological secret realm that often represents the fall of a powerful life. His blood, flesh, bones, and soul, under the wonderful evolution of long years, will merge into a spring called the Yellow Spring, gushing out highly toxic water from it. Slowly flowing along the secret realm, wherever it passes, it merges into a part of the Yellow Spring River. The aura of death emanating from it will attract a large number of supernatural beings of undead and poison types to coexist, creating a special ecology of the dead, similar to the Skeleton Kingdom and the Hungry Ghost Underworld ecology, and so on. However, the difference in the ecology of Huangquan is that it lies between life and death, and will transform dead creatures into entities similar to earth-bound spirits, guarding the eye of Huangquan. If the eye of the Yellow Spring is strong enough, it may even transform ancient dead beings. However, that level of underworld secret realm can already be called the Little Underworld. Among them, there are numerous dangers, which can be called a life restriction zone. The dragon blood insect, on the other hand, only appears in the underworld ecology transformed by the fall of dragon life, and has the potential to be a lower-level dominant insect-type pet beast. They contain a trace of dragon blood in their bodies and can spit out dragon breath. When they appear in groups, even some top leaders dare not confront them head-on. Most of the time, I inhabit the edge of the Yellow Spring, drink Yellow Spring water, cleanse my soul, cleanse my blood, and wait for one day to transform into the Yellow Spring dragon butterfly. But most of them are moths flying to the fire, dying in the poison of the underworld. Not to mention whether they can fight or not. If they want to devour a group of insects that drink Yellow Spring water all year round, maybe their pet beasts will be poisoned first. Moreover, the Huangquan secret realm is hard to come by, and the price of relevant intelligence information is not something he can afford. The unheard of dragon feast ceremony is likely to be an official secret. Zhou Qing said he was thirsty, took a sip of wine, and continued. This Huangquan dragon and wolf is not something I made up. It was recorded from a special department that someone has successfully given birth to one. Its attributes are dragon and undead, and it has a talent skill called Huangquan Funeral. It can summon the water of Huangquan, kill enemies, corrode flesh and soul. And there is a chance to give birth to dragon might. Even if it has evolved once, it can be transformed through the dragon feast ceremony, perfectly transitioning. At this point, is this dark fire wolf dog full of potential and also suitable for building spiritual puzzles? I don't know. I thought you were ready for the dragon blood insect and dragon feast ceremony, and now you can convert the contract. When it comes to drawing pancakes, it must be you old fogies. If it's a young person, it's probably a hot-blooded choice. However, Lu Yu also knew that the other party was doing it for his own good. The other party didn't owe him anything, but he was afraid that he would go too far, so he drew a big cake that could turn into a dragon. In fact, he helped himself plan a route and arranged a stable growth beast. If I don't really care about you, who cares about your life and death? Moreover, Zhou Cheng's intention is very clear. He can obtain channels by joining the alliance. With his background as a legitimate seedling, there is a high probability of successful application. But Lu Yu has the existence of the eye of truth and can fully develop independently, so he doesn't want to put himself in a shackle. Moreover, the dark fire wolf dog is really not good. It's not because of insufficient potential, but with the threat of the nightmare beast stuck in my throat. Although it is uncertain which type of nightmare beast is attacking, most nightmares do not have a physical body and appear foggy, weaving through illusory dreams. They are born with a halo of fear, capable of manipulating the dreams of enemies, causing them to collapse by infinitely amplifying their inner fears, and then enjoying their fearful souls and consciousness. Once completely engulfed, the victim will become an unconscious vegetative. Although the dark fire wolf dog has strong combat power, its ability can only burn reality, and the so-called dark fire is also highly destructive to flesh and blood. Can't you ignite yourself with a single flame and perish with the nightmare beast? So Lu Yu is more inclined to search for corresponding spirit, soul, and dream-type pet beasts, and even if it doesn't work out, he still needs pet beasts with skills that can cause damage to the soul. So he took the initiative to say, "Uncle Zhou, I want to see other pets before making a choice." Upon hearing this, Zhou Qing nodded and did not say much. As an elder, all he could do was give advice, and in the end, Lu Yu had to make his own choice. So he pointed to the three-eyed crow crouching on the ground in the distance, which had been poked by Qi Wenmeng with a wooden stick and dared not speak, and introduced it. This is the harvest from the extermination of the Death Bird Sect branch, which has high potential for commanding the three-eyed crow, flying in curse series. The race skill, also known as the Death Ray, has a probability of causing immediate death effects, but the stronger the opponent, the lower the probability of triggering. Although the appearance is cool, the attributes do not match, and things like death rays rely too much on probability. My own eye of truth cannot be increased. And being able to become a trophy has already explained a lot. The only good flying attribute is that it is too small to carry oneself. Can only serve as a scout. Pass. This is the black wolf bird. This is an ice-scaled snake. Zhou Cheng was also tired of introducing, so he simply asked Lu Yu about his general needs, and the answers he received made him feel a bit confused. Spirit type, soul type, how dare you think? They are all rare attributes that are basically taken away by them when they appear. It seems that there are not many people with soul-killing skills, and there is also a dream type. Etc., it seems like there is one. Upon hearing this, Lu Yu was overjoyed and quickly said, "Can I take a look?" Zhou Qing hesitated, but still adjusted the screen. In the picture is a cold and eerie cave with rugged rocks, interwoven with a large amount of silver spider webs, surrounding a fist-sized silver cocoon, emitting an unreal silver halo, hazy and giving off an unreal feeling. Like bubbles in the water, shattering with a single thrust. Zhou Qing touched his stubble and frowned, saying, "This is the loot of the border army's efforts to eliminate the dream-eating cult. A well-known madman cult believes that reality is illusory, and that the dreams woven by the evil god named the Lord of Eternal Dreamland are real. Therefore, a large number of human souls are worshipped, based on hundreds of dream-type imperial beasts, in an attempt to give birth to a pet beast that can open the door to reality and void, allowing the world to return to dreams and live forever together. However, they were promptly reported by informants and were discovered and annihilated by the military halfway through the ceremony. However, due to intense resistance, only a few spoils of war were left, most of which were handed over, and the only remaining issue that had been inspected and found to be minor was placed here. Named Dream Spider, with a high level of racial potential, it feeds on the dreams of intelligent creatures and is skilled in weaving dreams. Its racial skill is weaving dreams, which can weave a defense net for its owner's dreams and prevent some nightmarish pets from invading. This ability is somewhat weak, just defensive, not blocking, far inferior to the dream-eating skill. It has a special attack on the Nightmare series. Even if the leader-level Nightmare encounters the servant-level's dream-eating characteristic beast, it has to turn around and run. In battle, dream-eating can also forcibly devour dreams, causing heavy damage to the enemy's spirit. However, unlike ordinary spiders with a ferocious appearance, the dream spider looks quite cute. Many girls like to keep it as a pet and weave beautiful dreams for themselves. Its combat power is not strong, and its body is very fragile. If it cannot enter the dream, the only attack method is to create illusions, but it is useless when faced with strong-willed opponents. Especially since this one is still uncertain whether it has been contaminated and waiting for observation after birth, I do not recommend choosing this one, as there are not many unlucky people who will encounter nightmare-type pets. Sorry, I am the unlucky one. Although he was mocked invisibly, Lu Yu didn't pay much attention and stared fixedly at the spider's egg bag. Although it is not his most desired dream-eating feature, it can weave a defense net for his dreams and prevent nightmares from attacking. But that's enough. At least not facing nightmares without any fighting power. Moreover, after the contract, the secret food inheritance can be unlocked. Lenovo was able to create the Surround Vision skill secret food before, and perhaps also create the Food Dream secret food. Isn't this enough to solve the nightmare? Even capturing nightmares, crafting them into skill secret food, and obtaining nightmare skills. With the help of the Eye of Truth, Lu Yu is confident in researching the most perfect evolutionary path, and there may be a chance to give birth to the terrifying monsters that the dream-eating sect has long dreamed of, truly reversing reality and illusion. Step by step develop the ability to create things in the void and steal the power that belongs to the creator. Moreover, why is the hallucination ability weak? I am the first one who refuses to accept the mirror like water and moon. If we can develop our dream abilities to the extreme and let illusory dreams influence reality. For example, if a dream injury can also provide feedback to reality, can the training effect from the dream be perfectly reflected in reality? Create a dream training camp. Isn't it possible for the imperial beast to dream and train? With hard work, perhaps it will be a dream for 1,000 years, rolling to death and accompanying the beast master. Capitalists are ecstatic. Since that's the case, it's up to you, Dream Spider. Handsome guys and beautiful women, please ask for monthly tickets and follow up. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Supreme Mother River, Contract Beast. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Supreme Mother River, Contract Beast. Uncle Zhou, I choose the Dream Spider. Lu Yu did not have a procrastinating personality and made a quick decision. Zhou Qing knew from Lu Yu's fiery gaze that he would definitely choose the Dream Spider, and couldn't help but remind him. Are you sure? Well, let's choose it. After all, my parents' nightmares about the sun have been haunting me since they left, and I've seen many psychologists but it's useless. It's perfect for the Dream Spider to weave beautiful dreams for me, regulate my mind, and wait until I reach the silver level to choose some powerful combat-type pets. Lu Yu's reasons are very sufficient. After all, he is seen as a madman by many people, and choosing a dream-type pet beast to regulate his mind is also normal. Zhou Qing couldn't help feeling a little guilty. If it weren't for that mission, his parents wouldn't have died, and Lu Yu wouldn't have suffered a major blow and hallucinations. Forged God 100 Flowers wine was also specially brought by him, just to take care of the descendants of these former comrades. What made him even more uncomfortable was that the task had not been completed yet, and if it failed, it would trigger a major crisis. However, the situation is escalating now, and only by successfully promoting oneself to Morning Star can one be eligible to participate. Thinking of this, a hint of gloom flashed in Zhou Cheng's eyes, but it was quickly concealed, and he comforted him by saying, "It makes sense, and this is the last relic of the Millennium Dream-Eating cult before its downfall. Maybe you are just the holy beast they gave birth to, but the spiritual puzzle of the Dream series needs to be well conceived." "Great, I'll take this reason." Lu Yu scratched his head with a hint of youthful shyness, thinking that after unlocking the secret food inheritance, all the changes of the Dream Spider could make the Food Dream Sect and the Lord of Eternal Dreamland take the blame. Bury a reasonable logical closed loop for your subsequent strengthening. After all, no one can confront themselves. However, Lu Yu was not in a hurry to get the Dream Spider, but instead asked, "Uncle Zhou, what is a spiritual puzzle?" Zhou Qing frequently mentions this word with a hint, indicating its importance. Finally asked. Zhou Qing showed a cunning smile and said with righteousness, "Normally, spiritual puzzles are secrets that you only know when you become a Golden Beast Master. However, when you come to exchange for a gold medal, the warden must answer your questions during the process, which can be considered compliant with regulations." All of this was naturally intentionally guided by him, emphasizing spiritual puzzles multiple times in order to reveal some hidden knowledge to Lu Yu. However, as the temporary warden, according to the rules, he cannot disclose it voluntarily, but can passively answer. Zhou Qing asked Lu Yu, "Do you know why the beast control space can accelerate the growth of beasts?" Because of the Supreme Mother River, the human beast control space is connected to the Mother River, which can absorb primitive spirituality, transform it, and nurture pet beasts. The stronger the strength, the faster the transformation efficiency, which is a talent unique to us humans. Without hesitation, Lu Yu answered that these are the basic contents of the Beast Master course. That's right, it's because of the Supreme Mother River. Countless worlds and billions of dimensional rules are just a grain of sand and stone in the Mother River, just different in size. It is the origin of all spirituality, and our human beast space is a miracle bestowed by the Mother River. Zhou Qing organized the following language and continued. If we compare the Mother River to the ocean, we humans are like living on a small island called ignorance, in the dark ocean. This ocean is vast and contains endless secrets, but it has endless dangers. If we go directly into the water, all we need is drowning, so we need a ship to help us navigate. Ship. Lu Yu seemed to have thought of something and exclaimed in surprise, "Can humans enter the Mother River?" Very smart. Zhou Cheng, with a childlike appearance, glanced at the unsurprising Red Moon Dream and continued, "I can tell you that in order to advance to the Morning Star level, you must enter the Mother River. And spiritual puzzles are like a ship that helps you navigate, the quality of the puzzle determines the distance you navigate, and the most important thing is to help you hide yourself and prevent unknown entities from discovering you." Upon hearing this, Lu Yu murmured, "The Dark Forest Law." Zhou Qing asked in confusion, "What does Dark Forest mean?" "It was written in a book that I came across by chance." Lu Yu is also not secretive, after all, the sky above this world is also starry. Although it is not known whether there is a universe, the title is the same, so it is not difficult to understand. I briefly explained it. Qi Wenmeng's expression was calm, but the waves in her eyes proved that she was not so calm. After listening, Zhou Qing also showed a hint of surprise on Gu Jing Bubo's face, and couldn't help but exclaim. This author is not simple. He compares the universe to a dark forest, where every civilization is a hunter with a gun, sneaking through the forest like a ghost, gently pulling away the branches blocking the way, striving not to make any sound from the footsteps, even breathing cautiously. It seems that hunting is actually a resource plunder and suspicion chain between civilizations. This person has a wild imagination and must be a top powerhouse who has entered the Mother River. I can't help but want to read this book. What is its title? I also forgot my name. When I go back and look for the book title, I'll let you know next time. Lu Yu casually said a pigeon quote. After all, he had only read some explanations in his past life. If he had to rely on some fragmented paragraphs to replicate De Lu's book, he wouldn't be able to do it either. Zhou Qing did not delve deeper and continued. However, regarding the matter of the Mother River, when you reach the Golden Spirit, you can consider it. What I want to talk about is another ability of jigsaw puzzles, balance. You should know that humans absorbing spirituality can cause distortion, which is actually caused by humans being too close to the Mother River, absorbing too much incomprehensible knowledge. However, using a pet beast is like installing a filter, but even filters have their limits, just like water purifiers, which can filter pure water, but one day the filter element will completely pollute. Even if it is filtered out, it will still be sewage. The same principle applies to using pets. Generally, it is okay to use and raise them in daily life, just like a lake that will self-purify. But once engaged in high-frequency battles, overdrawing spirituality, and accumulating over time, it can lead to the filter element being dyed black, ultimately contaminating pet beasts. Mild cases can cause a significant change in temperament, and severe cases can cause distortion and backlash against humans. However, the beast cannot be discarded like a regular filter element. What should be done? Lu Yu pondered, and the Red Moon Dream beside him gave the answer. Upgrade it. Zhou Qing nodded in satisfaction and continued, that's right, it's about upgrading it. Since the original filter element is no longer durable, we'll use a new beast to carry it and build a new balance. And this is not just a random choice, it needs to match the attributes of the first one. For example, if your little girlfriend's first choice is only the abyss type, then she will also choose the abyss type, or negative attributes such as darkness and undead pets. If she forcibly chooses the holy light type pet, it is likely to conflict, constantly reject, and ultimately cause the water pipe to burst. Of course, some people have successfully mastered various extreme attributes and become strong, but that is ultimately an isolated case. Some geniuses from big families have inherited their spiritual puzzles after countless years of experimentation, and monopolized the related royal beasts. Not only does high-frequency combat not affect their spirit, but the perfect cooperation of the royal beasts can also greatly enhance their combat power. Some demons can even conceive and give birth to laws in advance. Forget it, it's a long way to go. If you choose the Dream series, the next royal beast should choose attributes that do not conflict, and be careful to balance the spirituality between the royal beasts. For this teasing from her little girlfriend, Red Moon Dream's pupils silently revealed love and a mood known as joy. Lu Yu didn't notice the reaction of the girl beside him, like a sponge, continuously absorbing these precious knowledge, and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. True transmission of one sentence, false transmission of 10,000 volumes of scriptures. Just these words can save him countless detours. Thinking of this, Lu Yu sincerely appreciated and said, Uncle Zhou, thank you. Get out of here, big man, don't do this disgusting thing. Zhou Qing scolded with a smile, and then manipulated the root and stem of the ghost prison demon flower to retrieve the eggs of the dream spider from the cave and hand them over to Lu Yu. It didn't feel as sticky as imagined, but rather like caressing top-level silk, incredibly smooth. Vaguely, one can feel the faint movement of life within it. Before leaving, Zhou Qing said a meaningful sentence. Don't think you're crazy, you'll find out later, Beastmaster. It's just a bunch of crazy people. After speaking, leave a note with contact information and leave gracefully. Lu Yu couldn't help but laugh. This handsome old man was not as optimistic as he seemed. Since there is no turning back, why not step on the thorns and take a look at the scenery at the top of the mountain? After registering and receiving the information for the Imperial Beast, Lu Yu expressed his desire to complete the key to truth, to unlock a new inheritance. Therefore, he invited Red Moon Dream to dinner in 2 days, but the latter remained silent. That counts. Zilongbeo. Lu Yu thought it was because the other party didn't like his meal, and just as he was about to say forget it, he heard the voice of Red Moon Dream. Looking down, although his expression remained calm, he felt a sense of anticipation. Although I don't quite understand why Chi Meng, as the young lady, would like this street food, since the other party likes it and I can save money myself, why not do it? Okay. Lu Yu nodded and agreed. At this moment, the bus also arrived. He swiped his monthly pass and waved goodbye. Chi Meng watched quietly, her almost perfect appearance making all passengers in the car look at her. Until the bus disappeared from sight, she withdrew her gaze and took out her phone, which was a screenshot of a chat record. Twilight Crow. The Zilongbeo at my door is delicious. Please try it when you are free. Red Moon Dream had a deep gaze and murmured. I want to eat. On the other hand, Lu Yu returned home, quickly locked the doors and windows, drew the curtains, and drew the beast control formation according to the methods taught in the textbook. He placed the dream spider egg in the center and dripped a drop of blood onto the cocoon. Buzz. Accompanied by a soft moan. The contract ritual rotates, and dozens of nodes light up one after another, shining like stars from the array, quickly filling the entire room. The interplay of starlight established an invisible connection between him and the dream spider in front of him. Lu Yu felt that his soul had gained some weight, and a feeling of admiration was transmitted, eager to be born. The first Imperial Beast, contract successful. Next, we will create a secret food evolution. Please support us. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Beasts of Natural Disasters, Creating Secret Food. 2-in-1 for recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Beasts of Natural Disasters, Creating Secret Food. 2.in.1 for recommendation. At the moment when the contract was completed, a majestic and pure spirit surged into the body, surging towards all 4 limbs and bones, constantly strengthening the muscles, skin, membranes, and spiritual power, all of which were greatly enhanced. The originally colorless spirituality within the body also began to transform into a light red color, and after the final transformation was completed, it surged into a void node in the brain like a surging tide, suddenly colliding. Bang! With a faint sound, the once dusty beast space was also pushed open by the torrent of red copper spirituality, creating a vast white space. However, soon the sky was dyed a light red by the red copper spirituality. Moreover, Lu Yu could also perceive that the current level 1 beast control space was already connected to the vast Mother River, capable of devouring primitive spiritual power and accelerating the growth of servant-level beasts. This is a miracle given by the Great Mother River to the Beast Master. Lu Yu has also successfully promoted to the first level of red copper, and it is only now that he has truly embarked on a path of transcendence. Originally, one could choose to solidify oneself with a beast guarding skill, but since the dream spider has not yet been born, it can only be put on hold. It's also time to take a look at the new feature of the key to truth. At this thought, his mind moved and the world in front of him was instantly engulfed by endless chaotic currents, once again entering that mysterious space. The huge figure is shrouded in eternal chaos, great yet mysterious. Lu Yu temporarily referred to it as the thousand-handed demon god. 1,000 is a vast and endless meaning. The first royal beast of the contract, status. Completed, reward. Secret food inheritance. The text instantly shatters, recombines, and quickly takes shape. Secret food creator. As a creator, you have the ability to extract all things in the world into materials and make them a secret food. There are 3 types of secret foods, namely evolutionary secret foods, which can initiate evolution. Taking skills secret food can obtain skills, sacrificial secret food can worship ancient beings. Using the history of taboos as the main ingredient in secret cuisine has the potential to yield unexpected rewards. Secret food is not powerful because of combinations, but infinite possibilities because of your imagination. Unlimited possibilities through imagination. A large amount of knowledge was integrated into Lu Yu's mind, giving him a deeper understanding of this inheritance. This is completely taboo knowledge. The ability is very simple, divided into infinite extraction in secret food creation. Unlimited extraction, as long as the target does not resist, can extract materials from all things in the world, which can be considered a concept-level bug ability. Even if the great master of material extraction knows about it, he will be jealous with envy. You should know that the extraction of extraordinary materials requires extreme caution, as one can easily be blown to pieces by extraordinary organs. However, as long as Lu Yu meets the conditions, even gods can be extracted as materials. And these extracted materials can be used to make 3 secret foods, namely initiating evolution, acquiring skills, and worshipping ancient beings. Gives the imperial beast infinite potential to become stronger. In addition, after entering the entry-level realm in his previous life, he also obtained a time and space treasure chest, which was a gift from the Gate of Truth. It contains top-level materials from various heavens and worlds, and upon opening it, you will randomly obtain 4 without any level limit. That is to say, even the body of a deity is possible. Thinking of this, Lu Yu couldn't help but look forward to it. As long as you obtain powerful materials here and make them into an evolved secret food, it's just a nightmare that can be easily destroyed. As Lu Yu's mind moved, the chaotic mud beneath him began to boil like boiling water, and a huge crack opened, like a huge abyss mouth devouring the world. A black and gold box floated out of it, and after choosing to open it, it exploded instantly, becoming 4 items wrapped in colorful bubbles. When your gaze falls, relevant information will emerge. The heart of the void worm. Originating from the ancient worm of the void ecological world, it only has basic consciousness and knows how to constantly crawl in the void, nibbling on the energy of the void for a living. The channels left behind will become void wormholes, some of which will collapse and cause storms, while others will become stable channels for void life to pass through. This worm has extremely high talent. During its long journey, it unexpectedly gave birth to wisdom and possessed the instinct to reproduce. It actively pursued the offspring of the Empress praying mantis, but was eaten of its head. In pain, the void worm chose to self-destruct and perish with its lover, with its heart engulfed in the turbulence of space. The heart of the void worm receives protection from the void and has the ability to open up the void. P.S. I live and die together with it. Evaluation. 4 star advanced, 1 star red copper, 2 stars white silver, and so on. Indeed, wisdom is also afraid of the love brain. Lu Yu's mouth twitched and he felt a bit speechless about this void worm. Normally, even if one has a desire to reproduce, they should still seek out their peers. This guy is actually good. When he looks for him, he's like an extraordinary life that devours space. And it is also the most notorious female praying mantis, who likes to eat male husbands to supplement their nutrition. People treat you as food, yet you still feel like you're living and dying with your loved one. Licking the dog is hopeless. You can't even lick boiling sheep. That being said, for Lu Yu, he became wealthy. The 4-star level corresponds to the morning star level, surpassing the golden spirituality and shining like a star, also known as the hegemonic level. Capable of becoming a dominant force on one side. Moreover, it is the rarest spatial material, and once it appears in the market, it will cause competition from multiple parties and ultimately be bought at a high price. Lu Yu's total assets now add up, and he probably can't even afford to pay for the small amount. It can be said that as long as he sells this material, he can live a worry-free life. But this is impossible. In this world where great power belongs to oneself, wealth and power are merely ancillary products of power. A person without power but with a large amount of wealth is like a child carrying gold through the bustling market. Pifu is innocent and harbors a guilty conscience. Moreover, he cannot explain why an ordinary student can obtain materials from the virtual ecological world. If you are not careful, you will expose your golden fingers. Thinking of this, Lu Yu turned to the second material. The nest of the Mother Empress of the devouring praying mantis. The devouring praying mantis is a notorious predator wandering in the void. It likes to feed on the barriers of small worlds, and the world that is engulfed by the barriers cannot stop the storm from entering the void, exterminating all living beings. Among them, the number of empty-eating mantises is rare, and most of them exist in individual form. Some special female individuals with maternal nest talent can become mother emperors, breed slave beasts. The flickering mantis, and possess the flickering space skill. The ethnic matrilineal society is dominant, and through collective consciousness connections, slave beasts will collect resources to supply the mother emperor. Once the mother emperor dies, the ethnic group will also perish. And after this powerful exotic beast drove the insect-tide natural disaster to devour a small world, the mother emperor once again gave birth to a large number of slave beasts, but among them, they avoided pheromone suppression and gave birth to a young body called the devouring mantis with a mother nest. One ethnic group cannot accommodate two mother emperors. The cruel mother emperor should have eaten her, but in the end, he only chose to expel her. As soon as they left the tribe, they were attacked by a self-destructing void worm, their bodies shattered, and only the undeveloped mother nest flowed into the void turbulence. A complete mother's nest can be nurtured by drawing energy from the void and feeding on blood, while an incomplete mother's nest can have an impact on the number and strength of its offspring. Evaluation. For star medium level, what kind of fantasy linkage is this? Lu Yu was surprised that these two guys could still love and kill each other after they died. And from the perspective of the mother praying mantis, it's completely like encountering a self-destructing truck. Is this the licking dog in the eyes of the goddess? Crying, crying. And shivering cold, why only females can become the mother emperor? How can gender be assumed arbitrarily? Unfortunately, the mother nest has not yet fully developed, and the potential of the empress of the devouring mantis is obviously higher than that of the void worm. According to the description of the complete body, it may reach a 5-star or even 6-star rating, evolving into a natural disaster for the Zerg race. But this is also a daifengshu, salad of assorted fresh vegetables. Lu Yu took a deep breath and suppressed his greed. Greed is the most taboo among people. The third material is a cloth strip filled with mysterious spells, seemingly soaked in a large amount of blood, presenting an eerie black-red color. The blindfold of Sister Tianji. Originated from a legendary hero. She is naturally beautiful, but she is blind and despised by her parents. When she was young, she was prone to physical abuse, but her heart remains pure and she loves the world. At the age of 7, he was kicked out of the house due to insufficient food, and was adopted by a saint from the Silver Church. He began his ascetic practice and devoted everything to the Silver Sun. Although born with disabilities, she has a perception that is difficult for ordinary people to reach, known as the heart eye, and has extraordinary talent in swordsmanship. In just 20 years, she became a legendary swordsman and created her own heart eye flow swordsmanship. But she did not become arrogant because of this, the world treated it with pain, and she responded with a song. She used the bounty earned from strangling monsters to help the poor, practiced the will of silver, and scattered the radiance to all the people. Although she is kind, she also has sharpness. When she learned that a duke used mortals to offer sacrifices to prolong his life, she used her own strength to invade the duke's castle, slaughtering thousands of elite cavalry, and was known as the Heavenly Sister by the world. Later, the dormant ancient gods in her world revived, spreading pollution, harvesting the world, and a large number of monsters went crazy, triggering a demon disaster. The overwhelming amount of monsters swept across various human countries, and countless legendary heroes stood up to resist the demon disaster, and she was also one of them. But because the traitor gave false information and diverted reinforcements, in order to protect the ordinary people behind him, they alone blocked the demon tide at Blackstone Castle, each with their own sword, guarding the border and fighting to the death without retreating. Her brilliant soul caught the attention of the ancient god. As long as she surrendered, she could transform into a servant of the ancient god and gain a long life. However, she refused, and after killing thousands of monsters, she exhausted her strength and died. Her will and soul merged into the veil that covered her eyes, becoming legendary items, but was also cursed by the ancient god as a result. This legendary item is in a polluted state. After removing the pollution, wearing it can stabilize spirituality, resist pollution to a certain extent, and have a chance to understand the mind and eyes. Evaluation. Samsung Top Class. In just a few hundred words, it was a legendary hero's glorious and magnificent life. Lu Yu couldn't help but marvel. In the rest of the story, it's the protagonist template, but unfortunately, it's reality and there aren't as many happy endings. After all, the ultimate boss is a terrifying existence that can be called an ancient god and easily harvest the world. Even in the world of beasts, they exist above the morning star. The difference between mortals and humans is as great as ants and the sun. But even so, in the face of the temptation of the ancient gods, her faith remained firm, and even gave birth to the ability to maintain a stable spirituality and resist pollution. Unfortunately, the world level is too low, and legendary heroes are only Samsung materials, which is equivalent to golden spirituality. If such a genius could come to the world where Lu Yu is, he would definitely become a top beast tamer. The final material is a small sapling that looks like obsidian all over. The trunk of the tree has been damaged, and there are no leaves on the 2, 3, or 3 branches, making it seem as if it has withered away. However, its information left Lu Yu stunned. The sapling of the ghost tree, on the brink of death. Legend has it that in ancient times, a divine tree named Death was born. It is the embodiment of death, opening up the eternal underworld, giving birth to a large number of ancient beings, managing the order of the underworld, and becoming the destination of all the dead in billions of dimensions. However, due to the tree of death was shattered, and the largest 7 fragments became 7 imperial trees. One of them was the ghost imperial tree, which grew again and its roots spread to countless worlds, devouring endless souls. The divine fruit produced on the tree can be used to replace death once, and can also transform the soul, revive the deceased, and other magical abilities. The ghost tree, on the other hand, is a descendant of the divine tree whose roots have multiplied for countless generations. When it takes root in the small world, it is discovered by astrologers as a source of turmoil that harms the world. They gather the power of the whole world to chop it down and exile it in the void. In a dying state, after repair, it can devour soul growth, produce cloud soul fruit that strengthens the soul, or grind the entire tree into powder to make special, death for death, secret food. If the ghost tree can be upgraded to the ghost emperor tree and the other 6 types of emperor tree origins can be merged, there is a chance to restore the species of the death god tree. Evaluation. 5-star advanced, the first 5-star material. In the underworld, Lu Yu has also heard of it, which is a powerful world comparable to the abyss. The Yellow Spring is one of the representative ecological secrets, and it is the world of the dead. Unexpectedly, it was opened up by a tree. And this death tree, representing one of the highest laws, was shattered and turned into 7 imperial trees. One of them, the Ghost Emperor tree, rooted in billions of worlds, has an unimaginable power. Even its descendants who have been separated by countless generations are all high level materials. If it weren't for being dug up right after taking root, a world could easily be destroyed. From this, one can imagine how powerful the Tree of Death, originally from its source, was. Moreover, it seems that the reason for the breakage of the Tree of Death is also due to certain taboos, which his current incomplete eye of truth is unable to examine. However, Lu Yu did not want to explore too much. After all, the curse of the sun, which is a taboo for prying, still hangs. In this world, too much curiosity will only lead him to the abyss of death. No matter how old it is just a material in one's own hands. However, the value of this material is extremely high. For death's secret food is to fish with all one's might, and it will not be considered until it reaches a desperate situation. On the contrary, Lu Yu is very concerned about the ability to exercise his soul. After all, the stronger the soul of the beast master, the more spiritual power can be accommodated. For example, it is equivalent to filling a cup with water and then overflowing. However, if the cup is turned into a water tank, although the quality is the same, the quantity can completely crush the same level. As for the evolution of the imperial tree and the birth of the death tree from the root of rebellion. To be honest, not being greedy is false. After all, it is one of the highest laws. Once mastered, one can indirectly possess the power of immortality, triggering a natural disaster of the undead in a moment of thought. But he knew better how much he weighed and knew that the water inside was too deep to grasp. Thinking of this, Lu Yu suppressed his mixed thoughts and his gaze was deep. It's time to create the first secret food. PS 2 in 1 chapter, seeking data, tracking, and monthly ticket support. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Creator Mode, Evolutionary Secret Eating. Seeking Collection Month, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Creator Mode, Evolutionary Secret Eating. Seeking to collect monthly tickets. Boom boom. As the words fell, the ancient and eternal mysterious demon extended his hand, causing the endless chaotic world to boil, and the mud beneath the chaos began to wriggle and erode everything. With a sudden thought, Lu Yu retrieved the only 5-star material, the sapling of the ghost tree, from the material library. It's not that he's stingy and unwilling to use 5-star materials. But rather, these few materials, two of which share the same origin and are insect-type pets with void attributes, perfectly fit together, and the remaining heavenly sister eye-covering gauze has a universal effect that can stabilize spirituality and resist pollution. Leaving aside the fact that this is a hen laying golden eggs, after repair, it can temper its soul and even replace it in critical moments. The seedling of the ghost tree itself has the attribute of death. Although it can merge, it becomes too complicated. Especially if the material level is too high, the main attribute will inevitably lean towards death, indirectly affecting the fusion of void attributes. Moreover, the spirituality represented by the death attribute is inevitably biased towards negativity. Even the blindfold of the heavenly sister may not be able to stabilize it, and it may lead to a decrease in the quality of secret food due to conflicting effects. Secret food is not powerful because of combination, but because of infinite possibilities in imagination. His imagination is the greatest treasure. Boom. One of the arms of the thousand-hand demon god spread endlessly into the void, pinching the heart of the void worm and exerting a gentle force. Bang! The heart instantly burst, accompanied by a silent mournful cry, turning into countless purple liquids, attempting to corrode the void. If one is in the outside world, it is enough to corrode the space of half of the Great Abyss City, causing space fragmentation, leading to detachment from the world and exile of the endless void. However, in this chaotic space, there were even no ripples that could be stirred up. Finally, it turned into a purple water flow, which, under the careful control of Lu Yu, infiltrated the silver mother nest like a honeycomb from all directions, achieving a fusion at the root level. The originally mournful purple liquid, upon contact with the spirituality of the mother's nest, transformed into a joy and revelry, giving up all resistance, like a swallow returning to its nest and sinking into its mother's nest. Lu Yu rolled his eyes as he watched this scene. Licking the dog is really amazing. Even after death, I still yearn to merge with the goddess. However, this was also intentional by Lu Yu. A perfect fit is the key to producing the best secret food. Lu Yu manipulated the thousand-handed demon god and gently brushed it, igniting the original purple water flow in an instant, transforming into eerie flames that began to burn, as if it were a tempering of water and fire, constantly purifying and blending it. The mother nest, which was originally like a honeycomb, began to constantly deform and vaguely transformed into a purple crystal tree. Its roots spread and sank into the void, absorbing energy and growing continuously. There's one more final step. Lu Yu's gaze remained calm and he took out his final blindfold gauze. But he didn't rush to invest, instead letting the chaotic mud beneath him corrode and envelop it. The colored bubbles that wrap around the material cannot withstand erosion and fragmentation, and the sludge that is enough to corrode the world submerges its blinding gauze. However, in the next moment, a buzzing sound suddenly came from above the gauze, and a dense network of tiny flying insects emerged, with an indelible blood-colored radiance lingering throughout the body. There was no face, only a mouth with a ferocious mouthpiece. They gathered together to form a huge blood-colored moth, with a ferocious dragon head without eyes on its head, surrounded by deep red phosphorescence. Upon closer inspection, ancient spells wrapped around it like star rings, emitting a terrifying aura that shook the world. And this is the curse of the ancient gods placed on the blindfold of the heavenly sister. Over the long years, countless harvests of life and flesh have made it reach the level of the morning star, equivalent to a 5-star rating. Even if it is just a curse, once touched, even the strong ones in the morning star stage will be devoured by these insects. If in the outside world, Lu Yu doesn't even have the qualification to face him directly. But this is the realm of the Creator. Not to mention a hint of inspiration from the indigenous gods of the small world, even if an evil god from the world where Lu Yu resides has descended, he is not illusory. Lu Yu has long discovered its existence, but since it is a secret food, adding more ingredients is also okay. He manipulates the body of the thousand-handed demon god, extends his hand and pinches it, easily imprisoning it. No matter how the latter resists, it cannot be shaken at all. Lu Yu casually threw it to the tree of the void. Kaka. The purple crystal tree cracked open from the middle, like a huge abyss mouth, protruding countless amethyst-like roots, wrapping and swallowing them, making a chewing sound. In a sense, it can also be considered as eating a god raw. After the crystal tree was completely engulfed, the heavenly sister's eye-covering gauze was also thrown in by Lu Yu, which instantly disintegrated into light dots and merged into it. The tree began to grow and grew 2 branches, but they did not extend, but instead presented an embrace like a compassionate mother god, embracing all living beings. On the branch, a black flower bud grows, blooms, and rapidly grows into a fruit. The fruit presents a human shape, just like the ginseng fruit in the myth of the previous life, but the shape is not like a baby, but more like a praying virgin. But when you look closely, you can see the dark nebula flowing in it, just like the eternal dead empty world. And the tree of the void quickly withered with the birth of its fruit, eventually turning into ashes and being swallowed up by chaos. This fruit, or his first secret food, was completely born, and information about it also flooded into Lu Yu's mind. Evolutionary secret food. Void Saint Fruit. Based on the heart of the void worm and the mother nest of the devouring mantis, it nurtures the void fruit tree, devours the curse of ancient divine creatures as nourishment, and finally produces the miracle saint fruit. A secret diet based on the Zerg and void, suitable for pets of similar insect and spatial lineages. If consumed forcibly without meeting the attributes, it may cause unknown mutations. Evaluation. 4-star excellent, average, good, excellent, perfect, highest, special effect. You can choose to let the beast evolve a skill below the super level. PS. Does the Void Saint Maiden fruit have the crispness of the Zerg race, the spiciness of the ancient gods, or the sweetness of a young girl? Fortunately, it's excellent. Lu Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Although he imagined infinite possibilities, his low evaluation proved that the creation of secret food had failed. Excellent level has triggered the effect of key to truth, which can give the born secret food an additional effect. As for perfection and sophistication, it only depends on whether there is a chance to create them in the future. Lu Yu exited creator mode and returned to his room. Looking at the hallucinatory spider eggs placed on the table, the soul felt the longing emotion from the latter and whispered. "Don't worry, you can be born soon." Speaking, Lu Yu placed the void saint fruit on top of the dream spider egg. Evolutionary secret food is the concentration of the power of evolution. It can be swallowed directly or integrated into pet embryos to enhance its life level. At the moment of contact, the purple virgin fruit transformed into a stream of light and entered the hallucinatory spider egg, quickly weaving a purple cocoon. The dark nebula rotated, reflecting the entire room as mysterious and dazzling as the universe. The light of evolution surges in the purple cocoon, beginning the leap of life. As time passed bit by bit, the cocoon wrapped in spider silk continued to condense, eventually becoming as smooth as an eggshell, and a figure began to collide within it. Bang! Bang! Time and time again, the void egg has no intention of collapsing. And Lu Yu didn't offer any help, just waited quietly. This is a process that life must go through, and he does not want to promote growth and waste potential in vain. Bang bang! The figure inside did not give up, and the sound of collisions became more and more frequent. I don't know how many times I tried, but in one collision, the outer spider silk broke off. Pop! Accompanied by a soft sound, as if a domino had been pushed down, countless spider threads disintegrated, the spider eggs completely cracked open, and a figure slowly walked out of it. After seeing it clearly, Lu Yu couldn't help but marvel. It's just a work of art. End of this chapter.